So here we have it, my big project, finished and about to be torn down. Got a sink, which my brother-in-law helped me put in. See the tanks, 180 gallon. It's a stackable 80 gallons. Two 75s. Up top is a 120, kind of hidden behind. Got two 38 gallons. And down here is a 180 gallon. Other side we have another 70. Here's a little, not little, but this guy's a three-toed amphibian, also called a siren. About 22 inches long right now. And here we got some 20 gallons. Spare tank at the bottom. 60 gallon up here. Two more 15s. All this is hooked up to a central filtration system. We can see we got drain lines, return lines with valves. Below we got more drains. Another drain. That big pipe there is 1.5 inches for one of the return lines, which you can see right there. Going up here, we got another 1.5 inch return that goes all the way around the room, and the one up there is a 2-inch drain, which you can see it's all the way across. And there's the drain for the 75 and the return for the 75. Going back here, we got drains and returns. You can see the lines there, there, and back there. And you got more piping. And then down below, another return line, and then a 2-inch drain. Over here below the 75, we got the return line, and over in here you can see the return valves and also a little custom manifold that I did for the 38 gallons. You can see it wasn't always quite so simple to get everything to fit, and all these bulkheads were a big pain to do. And on the 80 gallons, you go over here, you see their return lines and their drain lines. One goes down to the bottom, 2-inch, one goes to the top, 2-inch. Now, like I said, these are all hooked together to a central filtration. We got the drain line coming over here, comes down, dumps into the sump. A lot of water agitation for aeration. And then below here, these are the return and drain lines for the 180. The 180 tank has the highest flow. You see there is the electronic heater control. Right now, all the water is at 78.3 degrees. I don't even have to use the 1,000-watt heater. And that's because of all the insulation I have wrapping up this room. So all the water comes down through this 2-inch line. This one here is solely the drain for the 180. And then down below we have the lowest 2-inch line feeding into the sump. Now these color filtration pads, you can see them here. Got green, blue, and gray. They're Metalla mats. They never need to be replaced. They are more efficient than even bio balls. And that's just the initial part of the filtration. So the water flows through these. I have a divider in this sump. You can see the plexiglass edge right there. And it turns the corner, comes back past the heater if it's ever needed. And then here we have a strainer for the pump. The pump is a hammerhead pump with a ball door 1/3 horsepower motor, and that is an 1.5 inch output, which I then have it going to a 2-inch tubing. So I had to go around. Here's the 2-inch tubing, it's flex tubing, and then it goes into the Ultima 2000 filter with a 2-inch top. Best part about this, well, this is a nice part. You see it's running about 7 psi pressure for the whole system, which is very low pressure. You get about 4,000 gallons per hour with that. And the pump max output is 5,400 gallons per hour. Now to clean this, all you have to do is take this valve, turn off the pump, turn it around, and then it back flushes all the media in here and spits out the water to the back side here, which I have going out to rain barrels on the side of the house that fill up. I got about 4 rain barrels over there that fill with the water that has been filtered and is full of nitrates, fish waste, and that can be used to, you know, feed plants, water the lawn, do whatever. And I'll get back to that one in a moment. But we do have a safety feature here. If the sump overflows, the water goes out to the side of the yard. So after the heart of the filtration, which is the Ultima 2000 filter here, you see we have 2-inch tubing going down to this bad boy. Now this is 6 2.5-inch tubes, and inside each tube is a 30-watt UV bulb. So this thing can handle a lot of water and still get everything filtered. So it goes through all, splits off, goes through all 6 tubes, comes back up here, and I have it going down and back and going through a flapper check valve. So when the system's turned off, the water flow does not go back to the sump. From there in the back, I have another custom manifold splitting the output into 3 different directions, 2 1.5 inch tubings and 1.25 inch for the 180, and the 80. That's the 1.25 inch. So everything, all the water gets evenly dispersed. It all comes back to the main filtration unit. Water quality is excellent. You can't really get much better. This system can handle probably 2-3 times as much water as this. Not many fish left as I've been selling them, and I'm about to turn off the system. But I mean, it's a great setup. You know, to clean it, like I said, turn that valve, back flush, and stop. Can get out about 150 gallons of water in about 5 minutes. And then over here on this side, it's hard to see, but this is for the clean water, which I have this tube going out to a couple rain barrels here where I can fill these, treat them, get them up to kind of temperature, and then use this pump to pump everything back into the system. The cost of this with installation, tanks, plumbing parts were a big pain just to get everything together. I mean, I was looking at probably somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000, which is pretty good when you consider that these all have tops, all the plumbing parts, the valves, the pump, commercial grade UV light, and also the Ultima filter, which normally costs about $850, but the fish store made a mistake by selling me one with a 2-inch top, and I got it for about $500. So I lucked out there. And then these pumps, I have a backup pump as well, same type. Those new cost about $550, and I got these ones for about $150. So central filtration system with these overflows is definitely the way to go. I also have a 300-gallon inside that uses overflows, wet dry, UV, Gotta have a UV. So yeah, like I said, it's all one room, everything's insulated, got one bright light right there. And you know, it was a lot of fun to design and to set it up. It did take a while. Bulkheads are very difficult and tubing is not fun to deal with, especially this flex tubing. It's great because it's flexible, but it is hard to deal with. So like I said, I'm about to shut it down and tear it apart, and most of these tanks have already been sold, but it was a fun project. You see, these are some nice electronic switches, and they light up. I had a couple of them to control lights, heaters, for quarantine tanks, pumps, and everything I would need. Pretty basic setup, but the way it was designed, very low maintenance, excellent water quality, don't even need the 1,000-watt heater, and the pump only uses about 300 watts, which is about 3 light bulbs. And then of course the 180-watt UV sterilizer, which uses, as you would think, 180 watts. The heart of the filtration system, that's what it's all about. Go for the Ultima 2000. Well, the Ultima 2 is kind, and this is a 2000 model with the 2-inch high flow tops. Also ran all new electrical lines, so it would not get overloaded. And this guy here is, I just have a screen on top that provides venting for the drains. Otherwise it would start to get suction and you wouldn't get sufficient draining. And so that's that. Oh, and then also, right here, hard to see, that is a 6-inch ventilation system, which I have going outside. Let's go just take a look at the side real quick. So here's the output. The valve goes down, over, it's buried. It comes up, dumps into these rain barrels, which are interconnected. And there's the ventilation. And you can see the insulation there. Try to seal it up as much as possible with some foam. And that's all she wrote. Thank you.